I feel that Mother Lang is significant to the Catholic Church and the city of Baltimore, or the state of Maryland, and to African Americans all over because of what she did during her time and what continues on today. Coming here and establishing a school for children of color, certainly back in those days in the 1800s, was not something that you take lightly. And I think the way she was able to do that and to meet those challenges that she faced makes her a pioneer, one who comes from their country and comes to another country and does something quite unique. So that is why I feel she is a pioneer. And the importance that she plays in the role of the Catholic Church is significant as a woman of color. And even though she started her school to educate children of color, certainly that expanded through the years. So I think that's relevant for our Catholic Church to recognize her and also to promote her cause to sainthood. Well, I think that when Mother Lang came to Maryland, she and others with her, who were with her, saw that children, they wanted to teach children about God. But before you can learn about God, at times, not always, you have to know how to read. And the children that she saw could not read. So education became her main focus, Catholic education, because we're talking about God. And she started with those who were around her. And over the years, that ministry, if you will, that form of service, has been the highlight and the focus of the Oblate Sisters of Providence. But she began that along with the three sisters who were with her.
Well, it started in 1827. Father Joubert, who we consider the co-founder with Mother Lang, well, he found out that the children couldn't learn their catechism because they didn't know how to read well enough. So he thought about starting a school for them. And he asked around if anybody knew any, he called them pious women that could teach the school. And through that investigation, he learned about Elizabeth Lang and Madeline Baylis, who had a school in Fells Point for children. So he met with them and he told them what he wanted to do. And they were agreeable to that. They thought that would be a wonderful idea. When they started, I say that Mother Lang had 4 strikes against her in Baltimore. She was a woman in a patriarchal society. She was a Catholic in a Protestant country. She was a woman of color in a white nation. And she was an immigrant in a nativist country. So she had 4 strikes against her. I don't think that bothered her one bit. I don't think she thought about it. She just knew she was here to do what she was here to do, and when God called her, she answered that call. So in 1828, with the blessing of the Archbishop and the Sulpicians, they rented a house next to the seminary, and they started the 4 women that started their training to be sisters, and the Catholic Church that's called the novitiate, and they also started their school. They had about 20 students to start with. 9 of them were boarders and 12 of them were day students. And they started in 1828. The next year, 1829, on July the 2nd, they took their vows, and that began the Oblate Sisters of Providence. We still have the original, well, it's not the original building, but the original school, St. Francis Academy. It started out as St. Francis School for Colored Girls. And then during the 1800s, I guess around 1870, they started to change the name and use St. Francis Academy. And they used that interchangeably for about 20 years. They'd use both names, but then it became St. Francis Academy. That is what it continues to be today. And it is co-ed. Actually, now we have more boys than we do girls at the school. But it's still going and still educating young people in the community. And the seniors, 99% of them, are accepted in college and go to college. So I think that's a great legacy that continues for Mother Lang and the Oblate Sisters of Providence, of course.
We are still serving God's people, and we as Oblate Sisters will continue to do that for as long as we're here. And I think that's the most important thing. But again, if you look at society and how we have changed within the society as women, our roles have changed, and things that we didn't do 50 years ago, we're doing today. So religious life is a part of that change, and I do believe God is still calling. Now, whether you answer or not is another issue. So it's a two-way street. I think for me, as I've moved through formation and Oblate Sisters of Providence, becoming a viable member of the community or an active member of the community, I think my ministry has been some of my fond memories. I've been able, with God's grace and the assistance of the Oblate Sisters, be a teacher, be a principal, engaged in other kinds of what we call campus ministry work, and now I'm in leadership. And I just want to emphasize, in religious life, you don't come in being a saint. You don't come in you're going to have everything together. That's not how it works. I had to learn that. I was taught by the Oblate Sisters in elementary school. That was my first contact with them. I was attracted to them because of the way they interacted with each other and because they were hospitable. I wanted to hang around them, so to speak. And did I always know I wanted to be a nun? No, I didn't. But over the years, as I interacted with them, and I even attended St. Francis Academy when it was a boarding school. So I had that interaction with the sisters, and I felt like I wanted to give my life to God totally. And because of who they showed themselves as to me, I decided to become an oblate. And I think for me it's been very fulfilling. It has helped me to develop in so many ways that I wouldn't have even thought of before. And the opportunity to be of service to God's people in such a real manner. Women have more of a say-so in terms of, if I wanted to be a nurse, I certainly could meet with the leadership and talk about that. If I wanted to do some other ministry, education, or what have you, I could do that. So the ministry has varied because the need is there, and that overrides or covers everything. What is the need at that particular time? And I think that's what Mother Lang answered, and her sisters in her day and time. Whatever the need was, and God provided that means for them, is what they did. It's been a very fulfilling life for me at this juncture in my life, and I have no regrets. And like I said, my questions have changed. Not why did I come, but why do I stay?